I went from never riding a bike to passing my CBT, Mod 1 and Mod 2 first time. This is a video I wish I could have watched before going into my tests. My biggest advice across all three tests, the CBT, Mod 1 and Mod 2, is to do your research. It's a massive benefit to familiarise yourself with everything before going into your CBT. For my CBT, like I said, I had never rode a bike. I YouTubed everything. I YouTubed how to start the bike, how to brake, how to corner. So by the time I got to my first lesson, I had already heard that information before. I'd already digested it. I just need to put it into action. You'll be more confident going into it and you'll already have some background knowledge. But if you're watching this video, you're probably already doing the right thing. Okay, for my CBT, the biggest piece of advice that I could give, book an hour taster session before if your riding school offers it. This gave me time to get familiar with the bike. In that hour, I learned how to start, stop, corner each side and go into second gear. That gave me such an advantage before my CBT because I had already familiarised myself with the bike and I was more confident going into my CBT and less time was wasted because I already knew how to do the basics. Okay, my second piece of advice for CBT, and I feel like everyone says this, but it is true, relax. It's not as intense as what you think it will be. On my CBT, I dropped the bike twice. Not once, twice. I dropped it when practicing my U-turns and the instructor just helped me pick up the bike. We talked about what went wrong and we carried on. And then after doing the CBT test and being out, CBT test and being out on the roads, the second we pulled up to the gates and the test had finished, a second later I dropped the bike. It's not as intense as I thought. They passed me. They knew I was safe on the road. Which links me to the third point. Don't worry about making mistakes. It's not about getting the perfect test. It's showing that you're safe on the roads. If you make a mistake, don't panic. Just rectify it as quickly and as safely as possible. It's likely that they're not going to fail you for it unless you put yourself or someone else in danger. Don't go for the perfect run. Just take your time. Don't panic. And if you make mistakes, just rectify them as quickly and as safely as possible. This is an advantage that I will touch on the Mod 2 as well, but if you can legally drive a car, you already have an advantage. You will know the highway code, you'll know signs on the road already, and you'll have basic road knowledge, or road knowledge, not even basic. And that will help you in your CBT and your Mod 2 because you're already familiar in that environment. So for Mod 1, I passed my Mod 1 with 0 faults and I passed it first time, but it wasn't as simple as what I thought it would be. So my biggest advice, and I could not recommend this enough, if you know someone, a friend, a spouse, a parent, I already said that. If they can and have the time to teach you, get yourself a old bike, something old, less than £500, and let them teach you if they're good riders. My dad and I brought an old bike for £550. It was, I want to say a Kawasaki Z5. I might be completely wrong with that. And I named it Gary, no offense to any Garys. I love that bike. It was great. Anyway, buy the bike. Whoever's teaching you can take you out on the back as a pillion, take you to a car park, and then put the cones down and do it yourself. The money you save and the time that you get compared to lessons, honestly, yeah, 10 out of 10. It also taught me how to have more control of the bike and how to be more comfortable on a bike. It just builds better foundations than just learning how to pass your test through a riding school. If you can do that and if you have the facilities to do it, do it. This point sounds crazy. You will sound crazy in real life as well, but sing to yourself. I'm an overthinker, so when I was going around doing the manoeuvres, I would overthink it. In autopilot, I can do it. I can do my clutch, I could do my back brake, but the second I start thinking about it, I could not do it. So my dad made me sing a nursery rhyme, something basic that I'm not going to spend too much time thinking about. So I was going around singing Old MacDonald Had a Farm. So instead of thinking what I'm doing with my clutch, I'm too busy thinking about what noise a donkey makes. And so that helped me completely stop overthinking. I did it throughout my Mod 1 and my Mod 2. People probably thought I was crazy going around singing Old MacDonald Had a Farm, but if it gets you a pass, you've got to do what you've got to do. This links back to the CBT point. If you drive a car and you're on the road already, do your shoulder, again, you're going to look a bit crazy, but do your shoulder checks when you're in your car. So if you're at a traffic light and you're about to go, do both shoulder checks. Of course, you need to do your lifesavers when driving anyway, but before you do a U-turn, before you do a right turn in your car, just check, or your left turn, just check. It helps build the habit, and so you won't forget because you've been doing it for weeks, months leading up to your test anyway. Maybe this is a controversial point, I don't know, not to prey on people's downfall because you're not, but watch YouTube videos of people doing their Mod 1 anyway. Familiarise yourself with the test and the test layout, and so when you go there for your test, it's not the first time you're seeing it. But also read the YouTube comments on why people failed. This sounds so mean, but learn from their mistakes, because there's some times where people have failed and you have not even thought about that. And so I couldn't recommend that enough, because you learn more from people's mistakes than people just going, yeah, I passed, because you need to know what could happen on the test and how to prevent it. Okay, so for my Mod 2, at this point, we'd sold my bike, Gary, because I couldn't legally drive him on the road, and so my dad could no longer teach me in that aspect, and so it was down to the riding school. My biggest advice for the Mod 2, and honestly, I think this was one of the reasons I passed my test, actually I think it is the sole reason I passed my Mod 2, is watch Leanna on YouTube. Her name on YouTube is Motorcycle Lessons UK. She is exactly my learning style. She's calm, she points everything out, she's clear, she's concise, she is perfect. Without her videos, I don't think I would have passed my test. And again, read comments on her videos as to why people failed. I think she done a playlist on YouTube and things of why people would fail. 10 out of 10. I could not recommend more. Leading from that point, in my test, I spoke to myself out loud. It would just help me not feel overwhelmed. So I would speak to myself similar to how Leanna would speak to her viewers on YouTube. So she's so clear and she's calm, and so I was the same. I would be looking down the road and I'd be like, okay, and in front of me there is a bend. And so I would say everything out loud. I'd go into a roundabout, I'd turn my indicator on, and then I'd go indicator on, indicator off. And so everything is said out loud, so nothing takes you by surprise. It gives you time to process, and you're processing it in a calm manner. Again, like, that is one of the biggest things for me. This sounds like bad advice, and I heard it before I took my test, but it really did help. Enjoy your ride. And I know that sounds so typical, like you're going to be stressed, you're going to be nervous. But for my test, it generally was a really nice ride. I took it in Warwick, and so there was nice scenery, it was the countryside, there was fast roads. I got to a point midway through and I thought, I'm actually enjoying this. And that gives you more chance to be relaxed. When you're relaxed, you have a better performance. So generally try and enjoy your ride if possible. Another big thing, and this really does play a crucial part, is that instructors want you to pass. When people were saying that to me before my test, I thought they were just saying that to help me relax. No, bike instructors generally want you to pass. Unlike car instructors, and this might be an unpopular opinion, but they do not want you to pass when you're doing your car test. They're very critical of your driving, and it almost feels like they're looking for reasons to fail you. When you do your bike test, they're generally looking for reasons to pass you, unless you're a danger on the road, or you make someone else brake, or you make someone change their journey, their path, because you've altered on the road, I don't know. But they want to see more bikers on the road. They are more forgiving of mistakes. So again, it's similar with the CBT. If you can rectify them quickly and safely, they're more likely to give you a minor than to fail you on your whole test. In mind that it's not as harsh as what you think it would be. And if you've done your car test, it's definitely easier than that in some aspects. So I got 2 minors. The reason I got 2 minors was the first one was pedestrians. So there was pedestrians on the pavement waiting to cross. They hadn't stepped out into the road, they hadn't done anything yet. By the highway code, I should have given way to them. I personally don't agree. And again, this might be an unpopular opinion, but I think that I'm on the road, they're in a safe place, and I'm a vulnerable person on the road. It makes more sense for me to not stop and run the risk of being rear-ended. But by the highway code, you should stop and let them go. And I didn't, because at the time I actually didn't know that. I didn't think about it. The second minor was, I don't know why, but I just pick random things to be bad at every time I used to ride my bike. It was just down to me overthinking. So I decided that week that I was going to be bad at pulling off at roundabouts. I don't know why, it had never been a problem, but that's what I decided that week. I would get to a roundabout, and this is what I did in my test. It was clear to go, but there were cars there, but it was clear. I would hesitate. I put my foot down, and then I decided not to put my foot down, and then I'm a bit, I'm wobbled. Then he gave me a minor because I rectified it quickly and safely. I quickly put my foot up. I just put my hand on the throttle and I pulled it and we went because I rectified it. If I had carried on wobbling, then carried on, I would have failed, but it was rectified, so he passed me. That is all the advice I have for your CBT Mod 1 and Mod 2 to pass first time. I generally think without these tips, I would not have passed first time. Good luck on your tests. Let me know below if you've passed, you've failed, and why. Also, a lot of the people on my channel have already passed. They're seasoned riders, they know what they're doing. If you are that person, please drop advice below for people who are yet to pass, because it really does go a long way and it stays with you. If you're well into your riding journey, let us know all the tips that I might have forgot. Thank you. Bye.